Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. This is Penn Street, your host for Aftersight. Today, we have an incredible guest where I feel like we should have some sort of superhero music or, the theme song from Rocky or something playing, because our guest today has accomplished so much in her life and is a mentor of mine and has been for many, many years. And she continues to amaze me and inspire me. Everybody here is Robin Walters. Robin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Penn.
Don't you feel like Rocky?
Exactly.
Robin, can you share with the audience a little bit about your vision loss? Like were you born this way, or did you lose your vision later in life?
When I was a young child, my vision was very, very low. I could not see the ground if I stood up from the time I was like 3 years old. And I never saw color. So I have been a Braille reader all my life, even though I know what print looks like and I can write. It's not my main mode of reading. And I went through school like everybody else in public school, graduated a year early, went to college. I've got 3 children, 2 of whom are also blind, and I have 3 grandchildren who are blind. To the best of our knowledge from the genetic testing that we've had done, we have Leber's congenital amaurosis, and I am totally blind now. Both of my retinas detached when I was 27, which was actually a blessing. It was one of those things where I wasn't distracted by sudden lights or things of that nature that came into my very limited field of view and had to be very close to me for me to even see them.
That's interesting, Robin. You're not the first person that has said that to me, that it was once it was, kind of did that crossover that there is no more like, this is it. I'm actually blind. That it was, a sense of relief almost.
Exactly. And it wasn't like I had any real usable vision. If I wanted to see something on a CCTV, it had to be at maximum inverse video contrast. And my nose had to be in magnification, and my nose had to be right on the screen. Mm-hmm. And I could see one letter at a time. Mm. So it was not I really didn't have any usable vision. So it was a relief. And in raising children that were also blind, that was a real inspiration to me, because I thought, okay, I have to be an example. Yeah. I have to show them that their vision loss is not an excuse, that they can do anything they want to do if they can figure out a way to do it. That to me was really a blessing too, because it made me aspire to be the best that I could possibly be.
Yeah. Did they now, as adults, do they look back and are they thankful for having a mom who could understand what they were going through?
I think they are, especially since both of them have blind children themselves. Mm. And they will ask me on occasion, Mom, how did you handle this situation, perhaps in a school situation or with an O&M instructor or something of that nature? And I will let them know, and they'll say, I'm glad I'm not walking this road as being the first in our family or the first person I know that's been the parent of a blind parent of a blind child.
Yeah. Yeah. So your parents were not blind?
No, I'm the first one, and both my siblings are sighted.
Okay. And then how old are your grandchildren now?
They range in age from 20 to 3.
Oh,
And the ones that are blind are, 20, 14, and 3.
oh, wow. What a big age range. And for them to be cousins too. And
Right.
I can't imagine, because I was the only blind child in my family. I had no family members. So I just think that my mother was visually impaired, had extreme low vision. She did not embrace it. She hid it. She didn't want anybody to know she had low vision. And even with me, she did everything she could to teach me not to act like a blind person, because she thought people would take advantage of me. And to have a parent or a sibling or a cousin even that was also blind, it sounds weird, but what a gift.
Yes. My dad was very instrumental in teaching me how to live in a sighted world. And he would say, Robin, you look at people when they talk to you and you walk like you've got somewhere to go.
Oh.
And he also told me you can do anything you want to do if you can figure out a way to do it.
And boy, did you. I mean, your career and then is amazing. And then also, you've been a guide dog user for over 4 decades, and you've been training your own guide dogs for over 2 decades.
Right. And my career, just briefly, I was a systems analyst and a programmer. And then after that life, I've been involved in Lions, and I am district governor now for Wyoming. And I have tutored all the higher level math classes, plus the computer languages. And also I own my own business where I make guide dog and service dog harnesses, leashes, backpacks, collars, as you know, because
I do. Robin made me one. Well, not me, my guide dog one.
Yeah, it looked awfully funny on Penn, so we put it on Beethoven.
Yeah, and now you have Legend, who is a standard poodle guide dog that you've been training. And I've had the wonderful privilege of hanging out with Legend several times. So you spent over 20 years, obviously, as a guide dog user, and then you did this switch to training your own, which is mind-boggling to me, because over COVID, I wanted Beethoven, my guide dog, to stay, to get off the couch and do stuff. So I taught him how to shake, which seems silly, but even just teaching Beethoven how to shake was like,
monumental.
Yeah. I remember Legend when he was 6 weeks old.
Yeah. About 9 weeks. Yes.
Yeah. To now he's almost 2 and almost trained. And I know it's been harder this time around because your husband passed away.
Right.
Yeah.
And Legend actually is 18 months old now.
Oh.
And the only thing we have left to finish on his is his traffic check. I've got to arrange that, where I have friends that we simulate all the possible scenarios, and we will test him. He's been through the training on all of it. I just have to test it. So, but I've been, my first dog, that he wasn't trained as a guide, but my first experience with training dogs, I was 8. And I had this humongous shepherd who outweighed me by about 40 pounds. And he would behave for me and nobody else. And he would do anything in the world for me. Oh. And he would run beside me when I'd be riding my bicycle down the sidewalk. And if there was an obstacle, he'd bop my leg on the side that the obstacle was on, so I would know to move over. He was his name was Fritz. And that's where I fell in love with dog training. Then I worked guide dogs from a program for almost 22 years.
Wow.
And I decided, I really love training dogs, and I wanted to choose my gender and my breed.
Mm.
And that was my main thing is I like a male dog, and shepherds are my favorite, but I don't do shepherds anymore because there's some issues with the breed, and you put in all the time and effort and money, and then to have them not be able to work for 10 years is really hard. So Legend is my third poodle guide dog. You knew my previous guide dog.
Yes, so, I did.
Sherman. So,
well, I think he was a horse in disguise, but
he was huge. He was very big. And I enjoy training my own because, as you know, a lot of the programs don't want you to do extra things with your dogs.
Right.
And with Sherman, we competed in rally. Wow. That is something I couldn't have done with a program dog.
Right.
And I've wanted to do agility with my guide dog. However, Legend, he doesn't enjoy agility that much. He's very much in tune with mom. So he knows how to do laundry. He knows how to do, he hands clothes to me from the hamper. He brings the hamper into the washer where the washer is. He hands them to me out of the dryer so I can fold them. So, and all that kind of stuff. He carries stuff around for me. He will turn lights on and off for me if I ask him to. I don't care if they're on or off, but it's just a fun thing to do. I've also trained a seizure alert and response dog, and I've assisted in training a diabetic alert dog.
Wow.
And it takes on average from the time they're a puppy till the time they're finished, anywhere from 300 to 500 hours of formal training. And that includes all three phases: the obedience, which is sit down, come stay, heel,
right.
Leave it, which is very important.
Yeah.
And the public access, which I start public access the day I get a puppy, and I do 100 experiences in 100 days.
Wow.
And that could be a person, a place, riding in a car. It could be putting on various gear. It could be, anything to do with being in public, around different people with walkers, wheelchairs, children, older people with oxygen crutches, loud noises. I always take my dogs to the fire station and they run the sirens for me.
Oh, great idea.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Airplane flights, bus rides. I even try to get them on a boat.
Oh, okay.
Just anything that's going to make their public life easier and safe and expose them to whatever. Also, then I will make sure that, first of all, they pass their Canine Good Citizenship test or Canine Good Citizen, sorry. And then I also have them pass the public access test. And I have someone who's a certified ADI.
What does ADI stand for?
Assistance Dogs International.
Oh, okay.
And so a trainer that has that certification will score me on the public access test.
Okay.
And then that includes, it's a 12 steps. And It includes everything from disembarking from a vehicle or a bus, to with a dog going by, to walking into a building, to doing like grocery store activities, restaurant activities, all controlled leash relieving, all of that. Them dropping their leash and you recovering their leash and getting them under control again. That is not as big an issue with guide dogs because we never leave our dog and go do something.
Right.
So, but that's the public access test. Then at around 12 to 14 months, I start harness work with them. I teach them, there's 2 types of guide training. There's line training and targeted training. Mm-hmm. Line training is where they go and follow a line, like a sidewalk, a hallway.
Oh, right.
Okay. Targeted training is an example of that would be you get out of a car and you want to walk into a building and you tell them inside. And they will target the door. So they're hitting a target. Targeted training could also be like finding stairs, finding
the elevator.
The elevator, like exactly. Or finding the pedestrian button.
Right. When you're crossing a street. Yeah.
Right. And so you teach them those 2 concepts. You also teach them to avoid obstacles. Obstacles, be it full obstacles in front of you, obstacles to your right or obstacles to your left, overhead, and any level. You teach them, I teach an approach called barrier to barrier. Barrier to barrier would be like, of course, it'd be like if you're walking straight and you come to a wall, that's obviously a barrier.
Yeah.
A barrier can be a down curb. It can be a change in elevation, a change in texture, a doorway, anything that you would want your dog to stop.
So you would know where you are, because you don't want them just to take off and not stop, because then it's disorientating.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And the barrier to barrier is not just for safety, but for orientation, because not only are we moving, but we have to stay oriented to our environment.
Right. And you move fast. You are a super fast. Everybody thinks that I walk fast, but I have to jog to keep up with Robin.
Well, I'm a Texan. I have long legs.
You do.
And part of the guide work training involves distractions. We want to teach the dog the concept, and then we want to introduce a lot of distractions. And we can set these up, for example, kids throwing balls or whatever, or we can go to a park. I go to a park that has a lot of geese and squirrels. And so that's a great distraction. But we want them to not be distracted by people, by objects, by animals, loud noises, anything like that, because that poses a safety issue.
Yeah.
And also we have to teach buildings, elevators. I do glass elevators with my dogs.
Oh, yes. Because that's very different than enclosed elevators. And what about escalators? Does Wyoming have an escalator?
No escalators. But when I went to Des Moines to USA Canada Forum this year for lions, there were escalators in the convention hall. So I took advantage of the escalators and taught him how to do escalators. And that was really cool. So you want to teach them, and revolving doors.
Oh, yeah.
You want to teach them anything that you would encounter in life, you want to teach the dog to do. The dog is a tool. It's like having a cane or a walker. And if people start coming up and bugging my dog or trying to distract them, I said, well, if I was walking with a cane, would you come up and pet my cane? It's like, their equipment.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And also I teach my dog to avoid food, and he's not quite at this point yet, but Sherman, my previous dog, I could put a piece of raw bacon on his nose and he would walk around balancing it on his nose. And because, and you say, boy, that's cruel. But no, when you go into restaurants, you don't want them grabbing food. But also, you don't want somebody walking along and just shoving some food into your dog's mouth.
Yeah. Because you have to pick up what comes out the other end, and you need to know what went in the front end to know what's coming out of the back end.
Exactly. Or it might come out the front end again.
That's true too.
and I also schedule feed, because if you schedule feed, you will end up schedule relieving.
Yes, exactly.
And one thing I do with my dogs is for the first 6 to 9 months that I have them, they only relieve on leash.
Yeah.
So I pick up, so I know quality and quantity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly, which is important and sounds weird, but for those of you who do not have guide dogs, but you really do need to know what's going on. It's an easy way to tell the health of your dog.
Exactly. And on poodles, it's really important that they learn to allow someone to groom them, be it you or be it someone else. Legend is very good at this. With this, he doesn't mind at all. But some dogs, you really have to work with them to do it. And I use a protocol called clicker training, where everything is positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Legend has probably gotten 2 pretty substantial corrections in his whole life, and that's it.
Wow.
But you reward the behavior you want, and I assume that if he's not doing what I want him to do, it's because I'm not explaining what I want him to do, and I break it down into smaller pieces.
Were you that way raising your children as well?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I find I can get incredible precision out of my dogs when I train them that way, instead of training them where you correct if they don't do it, and I also find that the bond is amazing.
Yeah. And it is that bond is, there's really nothing like it. Robin, it's been so wonderful having you share your story, not just about motherhood and being a grandma, but also your amazing journey of training dogs. It is. I'm just, every time I'm around you, I'm just in awe of you.
It's mutual, Penn. You have been a mentor to me also. And I thank you for the privilege, and anything I can do to help you or anyone watching this podcast, please reach out to me.
Thank you. And so if anybody has questions for Robin or for me, you can get a hold of me and I'll pass them on to Robin. My email is penn, PENN, at aincolorado.org. Again, that's penn, PENN, at aincolorado.org. And also, if anybody out there wants to be on the podcast, if you have a story you would like to share, or if you know somebody else that you would like to introduce me to, that would be wonderful. Just send me an email. Robin, thank you again so much for making this world a much better place.
And you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. And thank you to everybody. And I will check in with you next week.